Charity Shield weather up here. I just wonder whether that Charity Shield match has any relevance today, Andy.
None at all, Martin. I think not. I think this is a totally different situation. This is a meaningful game, and even though it's early in the year for us all, it's very much a meaningful game. The Charity Shield, Alex Ferguson went on record saying he didn't want the game. It couldn't have come at a worse time from just after the World Cup. And I think it's just been put to bed by them, and you can bet your life they're going to be far more focused out here this afternoon than they were on Charity Shield Day.
Right, the team news for you. The spirit was willing, but the flesh around the ankle was weak, so Manu Petit hasn't made it for Arsenal. Stephen Hughes, who stood in for the Frenchman so capably at Leicester last weekend, he's in again. Otherwise, it's the side that performed well without winning in Lens. Sweden's Fredrik Ljungberg, after 45 minutes in the reserves in midweek, starts his senior career in England amongst the substitutes.
Well, there's an awful lot of attacking talent on show today, but I just wonder if it's going to be down to the 4 centre-backs that decide this. I think it's so important today, and it might be that the best 2 centre-backs play well. They're going to have to deal with various things. I think Keown and Adams are going to have so much movement across them and in down the sides all afternoon. They'll be looking to get the ball in behind Winterburn, in behind Dixon, for people to run into. And I think when they get it wide, Mark, normally when people get the ball in these areas and they toss it in here, then Keown and Adams will just gobble it up normally. But what Manchester United pose, particularly from Beckham here, is the ability to put it into these areas, in behind the centre-backs, where you don't need to be 6 foot. So I think it depends totally on how Keown and Adams play, and perhaps the 2 centre-backs of Manchester United as to who might win this game.
Nicky Butt's disappointment at his sending off as a substitute against Barcelona eased by a return to the starting 11 today. But for Paul Scholes, Jesper Blomqvist, the Swede, signed in the summer from Parma, brought in to allow Ryan Giggs to be used in other roles. Well, it's Giggs up front with Dwight York this afternoon. Teddy Sheringham and David May both out of contention with injury, but Jordi Cruyff is on the bench, and he today edged out Andy Cole.
Well, changes that Fergie has made on his own. Changes a winning side. I think Nicky Butt has been paired with Keane because I think he feels there was a real battle there. But yet again, I think it's so important if Manchester United are going to get a result that the 2 centre-backs. Watch for Bergkamp if he drops off, Mark, because what he'll try and do is suck Stam in. And if he does that, then watch for people running in beyond the back of them. They'll do the same from here. If they can get Berg out of here, in towards the dropped-off Dennis Bergkamp, then watch again for the wide man coming in from wide, Mark Overmars into there, and this is all going to be fascinating from here.
And Overmars has given Manchester United a fair amount of bother recently.
Well, his pace has, and I think that at least Manchester United come into the game knowing that they're not going to be surprised with that. I would be surprised if they try and push up and play offside and play high up the pitch. I think Alex will probably tell his back 4 to drop off, defend properly. You know, make Anelka and Overmars do something. Don't just let them run free on goal. That's something that we'll wait to see.
Well, it's a new kit. The Red Devils were all white on Wednesday. They're the All Blacks today. Both Arsenal and Manchester United back on the domestic beat after Champions League contest they should have won. Arsenal slow into their stride this season, but no less an authority than Ian Wright reminded me last week that this has often been the case in his time here, and they are still unbeaten this season. Dwight York with some happy memories of playing against Arsenal for his previous club, Aston Villa. United with just 2 defeats in their last 18 matches either side of the summer recess, and both of those defeats against Arsenal. Well, the same 3 points as usual on offer, but you do feel much more in terms of morale for a winner today. It's the champions against the most potent force since the start of the Premiership. It's Arsenal against Manchester United, live after the break.
Here we go again. It's the Gunners against the men in black today. And they're all here. The England coach and his young lad. Who's a gunner? Is he really? Right, let's go and join our match commentators today, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Since the Premiership began, no club has beaten Manchester United in 3 successive league meetings. Well, Arsenal have the chance to be the first. Throw in the Charity Shield as well, and it would be 4 wins in a row for the London club over the men from Old Trafford, something that Arsenal had never achieved before in their entire history. Andy Cole not involved today.
Well, that's quite incredible, isn't it? It shows you the strength that Alex Ferguson now has in his squad, Martin. Can afford to leave Andy Cole sitting there.
So it's Giggs and York to get the game underway. Manchester United left empty-handed last season. It must still stick in their throats that they let slip that 12-point lead over Arsenal that they held at the end of February. A very warm September Sunday in North London. Bergkamp. Arsenal do feel that they've been playing well without getting the goals that their footballers deserved. But Manchester United, of course, have been scoring freely. Keane. Stam, who had some problems, a bit of a baptism of fire in the Charity Shield back in August. Been waiting for a little bit of movement, but he threw it to the man who was actually static, Bergkamp. And Dixon, players who've been through this sort of match so often before. And Lee Dixon making good progress. He's got Parlour to slip it through to. Back to Bergkamp, just behind Bergkamp. Comes to Dixon.
Super football. I hope that's a little measure of what's ahead. Wonderful football from Dixon. So bright and alert. Just dropped the ball off and really just left Jesper Vonquist.
Here's Stephen Hughes, singled out for some praise by his manager in the match programme today. And needed again because, well, Manu Petit's had such great times in the first half of the year. Has hit a spell of ill fortune. A red card, a couple of injuries. Ray Parlour is fit. He's been on the treatment table in recent times. Back goes Keown. It's not the easiest one for David Seaman, with Giggs coming in quickly.
It wasn't easy for Keown, but very anxious, I thought, there to get that ball, Martin, before it bounced. I often talk about long balls like that, trouble that centre-half gives himself by allowing it to bounce. Keown made sure he met it on the full.
That was a lovely turn by Bergkamp. And one or two bright signs from Arsenal here in the bright sunshine, and Manchester United feeling a little bit of early strain.
Well, much has been made about Dennis Bergkamp's recent form, but I'll tell you what, he's been involved in the opening 3 minutes more than any other player. His touches look good, his vision, he's got himself involved. And they just get a little bit confused. I don't think Jaap Stam expected or wanted that ball back from Peter Schmeichel.
Well, as they say, form is temporary, class is permanent. Bergkamp challenged by Jaap Stam, the two Dutchmen together, and then it's Blomqvist who caught the attention of Manchester United a few years back now, playing for Gothenburg successfully against Alex Ferguson's players of that era in the European Cup.
Well, both have started exactly as we thought they would. Giggs has. There was some talk that he might play in a five-man midfield even and break from there, but as you can see from the pictures, he's playing right up top with Dwight York.
York challenging with Keown. Cleared on the stretch by Winterburn. Nicked back in by Berg with Ronnie Jonsson still unavailable for selection with an ankle problem. It's Berg and Stam in the centre of that Manchester United defence again today.
Well, you bet your life Beckham's just trotted over from the right wing. So it's quite a distance out. But I've no doubt after his wonderful free kick in midweek that he'll take this on.
Well, as you were watching Beckham, I was watching David Seaman, and he went straight across to that post to get a view to set his wall up, he hopes correctly. Beckham to challenge Seaman. And he, a bit too straight for David Beckham, and the Seaman grasped it gratefully.
Yeah, a little bit of reverse psychology there. Beckham obviously knows that David Seaman will have seen that midweek free kick bent in the other corner. Thought he'd just try and play this one straight, hoping that Seaman would edge his way behind the wall, but he wasn't having any of that.
Nice misjudgment by Owen. You don't see that too often. Anelka, flag is up.
Well, that's a surprise from Anelka. I actually thought he should have taken on his own. Bergkamp looks miles offside. I think Anelka should have seen that. And just here, if he collects the ball, I mean, he's playing the ball to Bergkamp. He must know he's 2 or 3 yards offside.
Bergkamp has started all Arsenal's games this season without scoring in any of them. Dwight York with 3 Premiership games for Manchester United. Keane. Down by Adams. Overmars. Nicky Butt coming across to try and help Gary Neville, but Overmars chooses to pass it rather than run at the Manchester United right back. Vieira. Well, Bergkamp had a couple to aim for on the right-hand side, Parler and Dixon.
This is as well for Manchester United. He missed that. A simple layoff to Parler, and he was really driving it, Dennis Irwin.
It's already you feel that Jesper Blomqvist's defensive capabilities are going to be examined here in front of the Republic of Ireland left-back Irwin. Here is Irwin on the ball. Vieira. Adams. Overmars, Winterburn on the move. Vieira. Arsenal decide to work it the other way. Dixon. Arsenal's ball.
Some great individual battles out there are going to take place. Of that, I'm convinced.
Bergkamp. They're really trying to run Jaap Stam then.
That was good defending from Stam. Didn't commit himself to the tackle. Just shadowed him across the edge of the box, made it difficult for Bergkamp to get a shot.
Well, it drops Manchester United's way by York's challenge. And Keown just getting there. It's a lovely cross once more.
Well, that's the ball I was talking about right at the top, Martin, when it drops to Beckham. I think the only thing wrong with this, he would have wanted it just about a yard near the goal. So Dwight York could have advanced just about the edge of the 6-yard box. Would have been the perfect place for it.
That's Roy Keane trying to reach this one. Goes out via Adams. Beckham coming across and in fact collecting a short corner from Keane. It's Hughes who diverted it out. Blomqvist. That's a slight miscue by Giggs, and it let Patrick Vieira stride in with some authority. And Vieira still goes on. Bergkamp. It hit Irwin. And the follow-up by Dixon was very well drilled.
Great technique from Lee Dixon. Not an easy one to strike, but he caught it beautifully. So controlled, didn't just thrash at it.
It's a lovely ball by Hughes for Overmars, no flag. What's Mark Overmars going to do? Well, he tried to maybe tease Schmeichel into thinking he was going to cross it, and
he had no option.
Gap.
He had absolutely no option. It's a fine one, this. It's probably smack in line. That's the one they love to put in. He looks up, he wants some support. And when it didn't arrive, he was left with the only option. Just a little prod, no real pace behind it.
Well, I don't think it's any exaggeration, Andy, to say that Mark Overmars' goal at Old Trafford was Arsenal's most important of last season. Of course, he scored in the Charity Shield as well. But here's York. Dixon has begun very well, as have Arsenal generally, and Anelka offside here. Arsene Wenger completes 2 years in charge of Arsenal at the end of the month. And really no one has done more than Arsene for the cause of foreign coaches in this country. Overmars. Here's Parler. What last season did teach Arsenal, after several lean years against Manchester United, they are capable of beating them on the big day. And that's Beckham. The ball to running behind him as Ljungberg had come across. A bit of confusion between the two. Arsenal biting in with this brisk beginning.
They're certainly the brighter of the two sides in the opening 10 minutes, Arsenal.
Hughes. Vieira. Back for Hughes again. Dixon very willing to come forward in these early Arsenal attacks. And goes Anelka, and Barber, the referee, indicating that Arsenal still had the ball they could play on, but they hesitated momentarily, and Ryan Giggs on a run here. Vieira got back.
Good tracking back, excellent. Knew he was a little bit sloppy, the pass was a little bit sloppy. His control was, whether he got a shout, Giggs was on his back, I'm not so sure, but he did track him very well.
Well, the flag has gone up. It was Owen just trying to put a knifing pass into the heart of Arsenal's defending.
Must have been close again. Right, York just playing on the back here. I tell you, look at that. That is very, very tight.
Berg. Just wanting a little bit of extra movement ahead of him then. Had to take an extra touch, and Butt was able to bite in typically. Blomqvist. Dixon got to the ball, the foot was raised, but he certainly played the ball, and Parler. Owen staying with him, he couldn't stop the cross, it's knocked away by Stam.
Well, they're winning most of the second balls at the moment, Arsenal.
Dixon went down off the ball. Spotted by the referee, and it's a free kick that the left footer, Stephen Hughes, has gone across to take. Adams comes forward. Keown comes forward. In towards Adams! Arsenal have a lead that they thoroughly deserve. They've begun brightly here, and now they've scored.
It's a magnificent free kick in from Stephen Hughes. It's into the perfect area. But watch Adams, he goes up early. He's up ahead of Stam. He gets the left arm up, and Stam can't get off the ground. You watch Adams, up he goes early. That's the key to the header. And once he's up ahead of Stam, the goalkeeper isn't getting there. He's about a foot short. The merest of touches is all that Tony does. It's all that he needs. It's all that he gets. It's important enough for the first goal.
A great contribution from the captain here for the champions against the club that have won 4 out of 6 Premier League titles and have been runners-up in the 2 previous seasons. Only Kenny Dalglish's Blackburn in '95 and Arsene Wenger's Arsenal last season, stopping Manchester United winning all 6 since the reforming of the league. And the only blot on Arsenal's horizon here at the moment is this problem for Lee Dixon.
Now you have to say, Mark, now you're not surprised at that scoreline. They were bright, they were at it from the first whistle, Arsenal. Quicker to the ball, winning the 50-50s, winning the bits and pieces. And that was a super free kick in. It was begging to be finished right into the perfect area. You always say if you're going to take a free kick, put it between the posts so that the header you can score from. And that's exactly what Stephen Hughes does. He puts it between the width of the goal and says, go on. And my player's going to get in there. Will someone get a touch? Well, Adams wasn't going to be disappointed.
And what happens if Peter Schmeichel hadn't come?
Well, that's a decision that a goalkeeper makes. It was there, it was tempting for him, I do have to say that. It was in the kind of area where it would tempt a goalkeeper. But having made his mind up to come out, Tony knows that just the merest touch and it's on target and it's a goal. It's not the start Fergie would have wanted.
Well, he's had some real adventures, Tony Adams, against Manchester United down the years. I remember one game where he scored for both sides at Old Trafford. Lee Dixon has to go off for further attention from Gary Lewin. Well, they're talking here about the strikers not getting goals, but it's the centre-back who's done plenty of that sort of damage to teams for, well over 10 years now. He's drawn first blood for the home side. Bergkamp. Got the better of Butt twice, really. Parlour. Vieira. Bergkamp just working on the shoulder of Henning Berg for Keown's pass, and beating Berg in the air, but not Schmeichel with the header.
Well, that's a good header. It was about 12, 13 yards out. It would have taken something special. He just pulled away, said to Keown, just put it in there, let me attack it.
York chasing in, Dixon back with us, and needed by Arsenal then. Keane, helped on by Blomqvist. It's a bit loose by Bergkamp. And Graham Barber right on the spot. Ray Parlour wasn't happy with the decision, but it's a free kick to Manchester United. David Beckham has gone across again.
Well, again, I think he'd like this, David Beckham, another 5 yards forward. It's a fair way out again.
He's taken almost 1 yard forward that he wasn't entitled to. The referee's moved the ball back.
Now that wall will have to go back. Yeah, it's a good 3 or 4 yards too close. Referee's getting it back. That will help Beckham get it up and down. The nearer to the 10 yards, he can get that wall back.
Beckham leaves it this time, and it's Giggs. In goes York. Winterburn alongside him did enough.
Clever free kick. Everyone's expecting the direct shot at goal. And they look to just pull a fast one, trying to get Dwight York in.
Well, Peter Schmeichel, we're watching his movement here as to whether he might be hurt. because the backup goalkeeper, Raymond van der Houw, is warming up on the far side with his tracksuit top off. Neville.
They just haven't quite got going yet, Manchester United.
Well, that looks serious warming up. Schmeichel has had something of a history of back problems. It's caused him to miss some matches over the past 2 or 3 seasons.
I have to say, it's a pretty vigorous warm-up for a goalkeeper. They normally just sit in the dugout until called upon, if called upon.
Well, of course, we often came into these games talking about the fact that Ian Wright couldn't score in the league past Peter Schmeichel. Well, Arsenal have got plenty of players now who've got goals one way or another past the world-renowned Manchester United goalkeeper, including Tony Adams. I suppose Graham Barber, like all the Premiership panel of referees, wondering about the tentative announcement, shall we say, towards movement to making it a full-time profession. Anelka turning it on, Stam clearing, Winterburn getting a bang in the face as he jumped with Beckham, quite accidental. Parler. Taking on 2.
Well, we've talked about the good start that Arsenal have made, or we think they have, and I think that emphasises it. The amount of defending that they forced Manchester United into in the opening 20 minutes of this match.
Foul on Patrick Vieira, who scored in that dramatic 3-2 win in this fixture last season. Arsenal got 2-0 up in that match and were pegged back by Teddy Sheringham, who's, if you missed the earlier news, out of contention for a place today because of injury. It was a strange summer for Dennis Bergkamp, really, because of course he missed the run-in for Arsenal through injury, and then there was some doubt as to whether he'd be fit for the World Cup. He didn't begin Holland's opening game, and maybe never quite got back to real match sharpness despite some of his memorable moments in France. Beckham, who I must say has made a magnificent response since his troubles tonight in St Etienne. And Vieira to chase back towards Seaman's goal.
Well, that's what he does ever so well, Mark. Just shut the door on any danger.
Overmars menacing at the other end. Oh, Overmars got past Butt. Anelka and Bergkamp. Here's Bergkamp trying to take it as it dropped.
Unlucky. He was concentrating on 2 things, you know. He was concentrating first and foremost on holding Dennis Irwin out the way, using his weight. You watch it, he gets his body between Irwin and the ball. He managed to do that, and then he had to watch a dropping ball over his shoulder and then get the power and direction on it. Not easy. He almost got it right. But that'll be encouraging for Arsene Wenger. So many attempts on goal early on in a match from Dennis Bergkamp.
Giggs. Here's Beckham in a race with Winterburn. Evans having a look round and trying to make sure that he knew where David Seaman was. Keogh. He was supporting Bergkamp. and successfully. Blomqvist. Here's Keane. It's a good run this by Gary Neville. Comes out to Beckham. Giggs going in. Gary Neville's run had continued into that left of centre position, but he couldn't connect as the ball dropped. And the Arsenal fans bellowing at the referee, and Arsene Wenger may be joining in, feeling that Bergkamp was impeded.
I think the referee was unsighted there. I think he was looking for a bit of help from the linesman who was looking at it. Well, again, it's another one of those 50-50s that an Arsenal player wins. And then as he tries to go on, there's a little right arm, use of the right arm from Dennis, got away with it.
Blomqvist. Do you feel there's some potential in Giggs and York? If they can get the ball to the Manchester United at the moment, that's the problem.
Of course there's potential when you get two players like that. They've got great individual ability.
I mean as a pairing together.
Well, I think that only the future will tell us that. They've certainly got enough talent between them. Intelligent footballers.
Gary Neville's long throw. Roy Keane climbing unfairly. It's Manchester United's 9th game of the season if you include the Charity Shield, and of the outfield players only Roy Keane and David Beckham have started all 9, and I think there's great plus for Alex Ferguson in both those players in that respect. Beckham's bounced back, as we were suggesting, so positively from what happened to him in the summer, and of course Keane couldn't wait to get started after missing the vast majority of last season. Anelka. Of course, has played in every game, but we're just wondering how much of this game he's going to play, although Raymond van der Hout, I think he's sat down again. York. Vieira. Tussling with Butt. Held by Butt. That's where, in the mind of the referee, Keane was able to come away with the ball.
Roy Keane's not happy either, Mark. He's had a little go at Graham Barber about that decision. The referee in turn having a little word with Roy. Well, again, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to call. There's a little bit of push and shove from both.
Anelka was able to get to it, hoping to maybe at least get a corner or a cross. Arsenal scored in the 14th minute. Yapstam beaten to a very clever free kick from Stephen Hughes by Tony Adams. Here's Park. Glenn Hoddle watching. I'm sure a good game would help his cause with England. Have some thinking to do for their midfield for forthcoming match at Wembley against Bulgaria. Also applying to Nicky Butt, of course. Beckham, on that theme, still suspended for his country. Owen. Blomqvist. He wasn't with the Swedish squad when they beat England at the start of the month. He hadn't got full fitness after joining Manchester United. Here's Vieira, very much in full cry. Anelka.
That was great play from Vieira. Wonderful turn in the middle of midfield, and then the pace and power to get away from players. The only thing lacking, he was just a little short with the pass.
Adams had to really reach at that one. Beckham. Keown scrambling to get it away. Marcus, a little clumsy with the right foot. Stapp. Beckham cropping up in the centre, trying to guide it on. Individually by Adams and then by Dixon.
Well, it's not easy when it's on your bad foot, as it was with Lee Dixon, as it dropped out this guy.
York. Beckham. Shooting chance here for David Beckham. Oh, well, can you come any closer than that without actually scoring?
No, is the answer. Well, there was ominous signs there when it was building up, Mark, because Beckham just drifted infield and no one went with him. No one's closing him down. Suddenly they realise the danger. They tried to get there, don't. I think the goalkeeper gets a touch on this. I think David Seaman gets over there, gets a little touch on that onto the goalpost. And the spin just takes it agonisingly across goal and wide.
Well, it's a goal kick, so obviously the referee didn't see a touch, but it was very, very close to Seaman's fingertips. One or two signs of Arsenal losing some of that early verve in the defending just before Beckham got to the ball, and as Andy quite rightly pointed out, there was space where Arsene Wenger wouldn't have wanted to see it in front of Beckham. He's not the sort of player to allow a strike at goal from that sort of central position. Keane. York on the move. Beckham spotted him. It was a tremendous range in the pass. It comes to Blomqvist, into the feet of York. And the flag has gone up.
Well, Ryan Giggs' hands and hips. I think he knows he maybe shouldn't have been offside. A brilliant skill from Dwight York. Got surrounded. He tempted them all in, thinking he was going to shoot here, and then he just drags it and pokes it wide. He's probably just about half a yard offside. But just one or two signs in the last couple of minutes that Manchester United are just up in a gear.
Beckham. His free kick. In a hurry to take it. Giggs perhaps in too much of a hurry to move forward with the ball.
Well, I think he thought Adams was about right on his backside there almost, Martin, because he wanted to turn immediately. Tony Adams had just backed away.
Hughes. Overmars. A sharp pass by Schmeichel. Adams. Keane just looking around and grateful for a second or two. Will get on the ball, and it comes straight back at Arsenal through Butt until Vieira stepped in. Owen. Here's Hughes. Adams, Beckham trying to close him down, but Adams sliding it forward to Stephen Hughes. He's got two to the left. Winterburn very much in a hurry to support the midfield man. Harry Neville keeping an eye on the ball and aware of where Overmars was as well.
Yeah, that's the one to look for. The ball just slid inside the full-back.
Winterburn. Who's somehow getting it to Overmars. Here's Parler. Well, Peter Schmeichel didn't move.
Well, I hit something, Martin. I think maybe that's the reason on the way through. I thought it took a very, very big deflection. And when he just opens up, and everyone thinks it's going right, he's going to play Dixon in with a pass. But then he just hits it. I think that took a deflection off someone, not sure who, but it was one of his own players. But certainly looked up, and Michael thinks that's dropping in the corner. Just goes a foot wide.
Ray Parlour got 5 league goals last season, more than double his previous best in any one campaign. Not the only big game in Britain, of course, today. On Sky Sports 3, on Ibrox, straight after this match, Rangers against Celtic. And Monday Night Football is back. Blackburn against Chelsea. Both sides to do with the points. League table not looking very promising for either Roy Hodgson or Gianluca Vialli. Keogh. Rather easily getting in front of Giggs. Never was aiming for Ryan Giggs. Seems to roll off the mark with that pass. Anelka, Parlour. And I just wonder whether Nicholas Anelka, in a more confident vein, might have used his own pace with the ball then.
I think he should have done. When you get that much pace to burn and you're against the last man as he was in Ljungberg, I thought he'd have just taken in his stride and just driven at him.
Hughes. Nothing inhibited about Lee Dixon. Vieira come to that. Berg. Here's King. Beckham finding space again. And it's Mark Overmars, who's not renowned for his liking of the defensive side of the job. That was an important contribution. David Seaman's kick giving possession straight back to Manchester United. Giggs.
Offside, Dwight York looking to just thread him through. That back line of Arsenal's again. That normally holds such a good line and not dropping off. Dwight York just a little bit anxious to get in behind him.
Talk about the north-south divide and rivalry here, but these two clubs very much from football's stockbroker belt these days. Dixon. So goes Arsenal's way. I don't think there was a totally confident reaction from Dave Babsky, the official on the far side, but Arsenal trying to benefit from that. And now, quite clearly, they get a corner. Up comes Adams again. And Hughes, who delivered that expert free kick, is now to take this corner.
Well, that's a threat, Mark, because Arsenal really do know how to attack the ball. Whether this is going near post to Keogh or deeper.
Into Adams' territory once more. Oh, pause for handball, but I think there was some pushing that Graham Barber decided was the prime offence. Jaap Stam was the Manchester United player going with Adams.
Yeah, there's a little bit of both, I think. Just climbs over Stam a bit, and then the ball just drops onto the left arm. An easy decision in the end for the referee.
Wins that one fairly. Butt. Now York. Mickey Butt through the centre. Keane going left to Irwin. Here's Blomqvist. Giggs. And Martin Keown wanted David Seaman to come. Keown must have got a touch on the ball because Seaman felt that he couldn't pick it up.
And that's exactly what happened.
David Seaman, who had a birthday yesterday, was 35. It's his 750th match of his club career. Big figures. And more safely away by Keown this time. Keane. Very prominent in Manchester United's attempts to get this goal back. In goes Butt. There's a bit of hesitation between Adams and Vieira, but Mr. Positive, Patrick Vieira, sorted it out in the end. And he wants the ball again, but he's had it under his control. Adams up to Anelka. It's a difficult spell. He's not scored in 11 Premiership appearances in a row, going back to that splendid goal at Blackburn that you might recall. Was it Easter Monday? Of course, he did score in the Charity Shield against Manchester United. Ferguson down to discuss matters with Brian Kidd. He must feel that his team were slow off the blocks here, but are beginning to show signs that they're capable of getting something from the game. And how unfortunate David Beckham.
Well, there's nothing in the game, to be honest, now, Mark. I mean, I think apart from the 1-0, they could easily be sitting there at 1-1 and Alex would be pretty happy. I don't think they did start brilliantly. A little bit slow out the blocks, whereas Arsenal really flew out the traps.
For Giggs, right ahead of Keown. Here's York. Keown's tackled, but Blomqvist with an early cross. Ryan Giggs and Beckham with Winterburn between the two. Hoisted away by Stephen Hughes. So great rules from the Arsenal fans who maybe just beginning to be concerned, but now pleased with this position because Anelka is denied by Schmeichel. That was a tremendous stop.
That might just be a big moment in this football match. They get caught in the break. We've talked about how quick this trio are when they get going, when they break from defence to attack. And once in there, I just think the only thing Anelka does wrong is the height he places the ball at. I think if he threads that along the ground, I think he scores.
That might ease doubts about Schmeichel's sense of mobility in this match. Corner for Arsenal, could have been more. Keane getting the better of Vieira. Blomqvist has gone ahead of him. Ryan Giggs raiding through the middle. Good covering by Winterburn. But York, no offside this time, and no foul either, though Giggs stands hands on hips, thinking he was hard done by. Others for Manchester United concentrating on getting the ball back. Another probing pass from Beckham. York. Blomqvist. 2 minutes to go to half-time. Hughes has scuffed that, but it's rolled, fortunately for Arsenal, to Parlour. And they've got the three forward here. Overmars on the ball. Some fairly desperate challenges there. A successful one in the end by Gary Neville.
Yeah, that's the threat. It really is, and a genuine at that when they break Arsenal.
Here's the power of Vieira. That's a tremendous recovery by Stump. Giggs getting very open at the moment.
Well, we don't want half-time now, Mark. The game's flowing.
No offside. Nicholas Anelka. Schmeichel there again. Anelka there again. 2-0 to Arsenal. And Anelka, a very, very happy young man.
Well, full marks for persistence and not being disappointed when that Great Dane thwarted him the first time. That's the threat with him. You hold your line and you don't get it right, then you ain't catching him. It's as simple as that. He looks to thread it right side, Schmeichel saves it. He's alert enough to pounce on the rebound, and even with his left foot, slots it beautifully.
I owe my teammates a goal, he's been saying. Here it is. Despite the valiant effort from Schmeichel, Manchester United ambushed by Anelka.
Well, there's one or two problems. A couple of United lads are having a chip at the referee. Obviously unhappy. I think that was the incident that happened with Ryan Giggs, Martin, on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area.
Do you think they're still going back to that?
I think they're still going back to that. Yeah.
Yes, Giggs certainly felt he was impeded.
But it flowed. It's been. I can't believe how the game suddenly opened up in the last 3 minutes, March's 40-minute mark. It's been unbelievable how it's been attack after attack, almost like football and basketball. You just felt there was a goal coming if it continued, but you weren't sure who from. Arsenal are the ones who have nipped in with this, well, what might be a pretty crucial second goal.
Beckham. And now York. And it's Beckham. And it did sit up for him to strike with that talented right foot.
Well, he's good enough. There isn't a doubt about that, to hit the target from there. Lovely little build, little give and go, and knocks it round the corner, goes back for it. It's there to be hit. Just cuts across the ball.
Still some sniping going on at Graham Barber. Beckham this time.
They're obviously not happy with the referee.
But while you were looking at the first replay of the goal, I was watching it. Well, here's Beckham. Maybe more problems for Manchester United here. But there were Arsenal celebrations all over the pitch. Ray Parlour went to the bench, Nigel Winterburn to the crowd. That's how much that second goal, and maybe at this particular time, right on half-time, when they were feeling the pinch of Manchester United's positive response to being 1-0 down. Adams looking to be the boss here.
Well, I think at 1-0, maybe Alex would have kept the same side. I just wonder if he'll think about making a change at half-time. He has good options. I think in particular, Blomqvist has really struggled to make any sort of an impact, and I wonder if they're thinking about maybe getting Solskjaer on up front with York, and maybe just giving Giggs that left side to go at them, to get back in the game, to get a foothold. For a lot of the first half, they've actually been all right, but that second goal might just influence them.
Feeling he might have had a nibble at the ball, but Keane felt the challenge as well, and well, David Beckham has maybe one more chance. Well, all if he three chooses to take it.
All three have been exactly about there. That line, almost that line across the pitch is where they've been. 30 yards out. He took the first, Giggs the second, both in the picture. Who's going to hit it?
Manchester United badly in need of a goal in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Here goes Beckham, and there's David Seaman, who of course must have dealt with these in England training time and time again, and he dealt with that one.
That's just good feet from the goalkeeper. You watch him use his feet, cross he goes, no need to dive for that. It's a comfortable save.
Well, of course, it was 2-0, as we mentioned already today in this fixture last season, but Manchester United got it back to 2-2 at half-time. They're not going to do that today. Well, for the team in black, it's looking rather black at the halfway mark. Tony Adams and Nicolas Anelka, the A-team for Arsenal. Adams from the set piece, Stephen Hughes standing in for Manu Petit, particularly well in that instant. And then Anelka darting in. Schmeichel, who'd saved well once from him earlier and stopped the first effort here, powerless the second time. So far so good for the Gunners. They lead 2-0 at Highbury at the break.
It's a lot of good football to be played yet. Let's rejoin Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Richard. Just before the kickoff, a thought from Andy. You mentioned the pairs of centre-backs at the start as key men. Are you still seeing it that way?
Well, they've certainly had a big say, haven't they, Martin? I think in the not only defending, I think Adams and Keown have certainly defended, I think, a little bit better than Berg and Stam. And, of course, Tony Adams got the all-important first goal. So, maybe, but more to come.
So Arsenal 2 goals to the good. No obvious change from Alex Ferguson, certainly not in terms of personnel.
I think they might be in tempo, Martin. I think Alex will be anxious at the start of the second half, brightly, quickly, much like Arsenal did first half. It'll be down to whether Arsenal can stop them doing that.
Well, Alex Ferguson simply hates being a second best, as they were, of course, in the Premiership to Arsenal last season, and as they certainly are in this match. If you judge it totally on the scoreline, rather like in the Charity Shield, not a huge difference territorially. Once Manchester United had come to terms with that blistering Arsenal start. But a very reflective Fergie, who's had his say, and how will his players respond? Nicholas Anelka must have decided Manchester United. He got his first goal for Arsenal against them in this fixture last season, plus the one in the Charity Shield, and back in scoring vein after a long absence in the league today. Cleared by Adams. Keane. Keane able to get it down. Try and get a grip on this midfield for Manchester United. Beckham. And he was impeded. Certainly Manchester United were aggrieved with some of Arsenal's challenges just before half-time, just before that second goal. This was Stephen Hughes, who does get booked. Misjudged by Patrick Vieira, who was an outstanding performer in the first half.
He was, but I think Stam misjudged it as well behind him, Mark, because he just seemed to assume that Vieira was getting it and just pulled away from the cross. There's a big half ahead. I mean, we saw recently against Chelsea that when this Arsenal team decide to defend, and they had to defend with 10 that night, they're very, very difficult to break down.
Touch on by Anelka. Bergkamp, not a great angle.
Yeah, it's easy from here. But I bet there's a few people sitting at home saying, why didn't he go across Peter Schmeichel? That's the only criticism you could level here. Great little touch, he gets in behind. The angle's tight. It would take something special, you see, from there to get inside that near post and past the goalkeeper.
Long by Keown, met by Ljungberg, then Hughes getting a foot in for Arsenal over Mars. Anelka, a much more confident player now. Hughes. And coming at him from either side, Keane and Beckham. And Graham Barber was only a few yards away and would have seen that very clearly. One thing Alex Ferguson won't want here are his players losing their heads.
Well, it was the two players that were concerned. Well, certainly a foot goes in there.
from Beckham.
I think that's what Overmars, Winterburn and co are saying to the referee.
Well, David Beckham has to accept that his behaviour is going to be under scrutiny, not just from referees. He's such a talented young man, and the impetuosity of youth still in his makeup, but he could get into serious trouble for just going in there. And Roy Keane rousing as well, of course. Never bashful in those circumstances. Here comes the free kick. Schmeichel's got it. And how often have we seen him bowl it out to Giggs to good effect? Hughes. As the shadows lengthen and the actual temperature drops, the temperature of this match is rising considerably. Vieira forcing a mistake then, and Anelka can put Vieira forward. Here goes Patrick Vieira, sent crashing by Nicky Butt. Tackle outside the area. Now, was that in the mind of Graham Barber a goal-scoring opportunity? Well, I have to say, from our angle, it looked as though possibly other Manchester United players could get across. Andy, your thoughts?
I'm astounded, Martin, I have to say. I'm absolutely astounded the yellow cards come out. Roy Keane's in trouble. Is it too much to say now?
Nicky Butt, who was sent off, of course, for handball against Barcelona, an automatic red card.
You see, look at Henning Bergs around there. I don't think that's last man. I don't think that's a sending off offence. I think it's hard done by. It's a free kick, it's a booking. But in my opinion, that's all it is.
Keane has been booked for his protestations. But a desperate few days for Nicky Butt. So Manchester United are down to 10 men. Keane is steaming. Arsenal have a free kick. United 2-0 down. Overmars and Owen got out. Well, we pointed out earlier in the programme that in the almost 2 years that Arsene Wenger has been in charge of Arsenal, Arsenal have had 14 players red-carded over the same period. Well, it's 4 for Manchester United, and 2 of those have come in the past 4 days. Bergkamp. Arsenal at full throttle now, you would feel. Parlour. Vieira. Who, of course, made all that happen with his direct work. Bergkamp. Too high for Anelka. Owen's header away, controlled by Giggs. Winterburn winning it against Beckham. Anelka's offside. Wouldn't have counted.
Well, they've just got to clear their heads, Manchester United. If it was a mountain to climb, well, it's just growing a couple of thousand feet, I tell you. With 11 men, it would have been really tough. Alex Ferguson's team have really got to dig deep. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Whether they go with 4 in midfield. I notice Giggs has dropped back in. Whether they go with the 4 across and just the 1 up.
David Beckham was the message carrier. Got it from the manager himself. Adams. So now Nicky Butt has a European suspension to serve and a league one. I just wonder whether Manchester United will try and get the referee to look at that incident and see whether he might change his view. There was a situation with Gary Pallister last season where the red card was changed to a yellow one on video analysis.
I always think when it's that wide, Martin, and you're not even in the area yet, I think it's sufficient unless there is absolutely no one within 20 yards of you and you're going through and goal, that, you know, a yellow card is certainly, I thought, sufficient in that.
Owen. York. Beckham. Blomqvist well aware of how Irwin was backing him up. Here's Keane. Irwin. It's sort of ambition that Manchester United will try to show, but they've got to make sure they do it without leaving the back door open. Another one for Arsenal.
Well, that's a danger. That's what they've got to, but they've got to risk that. There's no point now in saying, well, we can't. They've got to risk losing a third in a chase for an opener of their own.
Hughes. Here's Overmars. Arsenal revelling in this. Overmars shot. No fumble by Schmeichel, just as well. Bergkamp was coming in at pace. Parler. Textbook tackle against Blomqvist. Vieira. Anelka. Parler. Flagged offside.
Well, it shouldn't be. That's a simple answer there. He looks disappointed, but he knows he's looking right along the line.
That's when you say it shouldn't be, you mean from that position he should be able to check himself.
Correct. It's pretty close though when you see it again.
Irwin. Well, even back in the times when dismissals were few and far between, Manchester United players, a bit of a history of getting into trouble against Arsenal. Dennis Law, Remy Moses, Brian Robson, that was in a match in South Africa, and in the 90s, Eric Cantona here, and Mark Hughes also, and today, Nicky Butt.
Prior to today, in the previous 4 Premiership games, I think they had only 3 players bookmarked. Shows you.
I'm not saying Manchester United were too soft, David.
Certainly not. With Butt and Keane on the side, you've got to be joking.
Bergkamp. Ljungberg sticking to his man, but I think he's been penalised.
He has.
Keane coming in from a deep position. Winterburn to take the free kick. It's to Keown. Vieira, Anelka. Hoping Parler was going to continue his run. Had he done so, I'm sure he would have been offside. Winterburn. That's a good challenge by Roy Keane. Trying to rise to the general challenge for Manchester United here. And number 15 on the other. Free kick to United. Rather painfully off Blomqvist. It was a strange one.
It was a strange one. I didn't actually see where the ball got him. But he looks in some discomfort.
Ferguson's view of it, masked by the sun in his eyes. And he had plenty to say for himself after the match in midweek vis-a-vis the referee. Pretty quick recovery for Jesper Blomqvist.
He just looks to play the ball forward. It's only a side foot. That's a strange one. Must have just winded him up.
It wasn't their away record, Manchester United, that let them down in the league last season. It was the best in the Premiership. Although they lost games that they would feel they should have won at Coventry and at Southampton. So beaten Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds, as well as here at Highbury. Anelka, Bergkamp. Extra determination from Keane. And Blomqvist, Lee Dixon had gone forward expecting Arsenal to continue their move. Good play by Blomqvist, who hasn't really stamped his quality on the match, but a taste of what he's capable of.
Well, this is what the type of players, even with 10 men, Mark, they've got players that can travel with the ball, that can carry it, lengths up the pitch, and that's what they need. They need people like Giggs, like Blomqvist to get on the ball, to run at players, to commit them.
Half an hour to go. Winterberg. Overmars playing initially with a bit of economy there, then he just darted away, hoping that maybe Arsenal could have explored that particular avenue. Gary Neville keeping a wary eye on him and given the ball by Keane. Incidentally, Gary and Philip Neville, the latest to bring out a book. Such super lads, I would think that would come from the Enid Blyton School of Football Autobiographers. Here he is, the elder of the two brothers. York. Now Blomqvist. Manchester United well represented in the centre if they can get a cross in. Parler trying to stop that, Dixon trying to stop it, but Blomqvist. And in the end, the referee has decided that Blomqvist was being impeded. Well, he was working hard.
Yeah, just outside the box. I think Lee Dixon just a little grab at his shirt as he slipped the ball past him.
Well, here may be a chance for Manchester United just to get on possibly the first rung of a ladder that could lead to some sort of recovery. With Beckham into the wall. Beckham has another go and it's into the side netting.
Well, it was close to the second one, but when you see David Seaman's position as he hits this, look at Seaman, he's right beside the post. There's nothing going to go between him and that post. That's why you need to keep chipping away in a game like this, even though you're 2-0 down and down to 10 men, because you do have players like Beckham, if you manage to get a set piece in and around the box, and suddenly bring you back into the game. And if they got back to 2-1, then I don't care if they're double winners. One or two nerves might just start to show. They might get a little anxious.
A double winner certainly, but not regular winners in the league this season. A succession of draws for Arsenal, of course. 5 in all competitions. And they know about late goals. They got one themselves last weekend at Leicester through Stephen Hughes, and of course conceded one that many at Arsenal actually think was an own goal. Martin Keown confirming to me before the game that he certainly got some sort of touch on that late Lens corner. Parler, 3 ahead of him for Arsenal. Bergkamp. For Parler again. Anelka in the centre, but not attacking the space at the near post.
He should have done it. Overmars behind him, there was no need.
Vieira gets the better of Giggs, and Ryan Giggs grateful there for help from his mates. And then York gives it straight to Bergkamp, who puts Anelka through. This could wrap it up, and he hasn't.
Well, it could have been an
opportunity.
It could have been a hat-trick today, Nicholas Anelka. That's the third one. He's through on the goalkeeper. Dwight York's sloppy pass is the one just here, looking to drop it off. And it's cut out, and then he goes behind Stam. Trying to use his pace, difficult to catch. Berg struggling to get him. It's not a great finish. On his strong side as well. That would have been game over, you feel.
Well, I'm sure partly for psychological reasons to make sure Nicholas Anelka hears the right sort of comments and reads the right sort of praise in print. But Arsene Wenger's got tremendous faith and has been articulating that in what Anelka will become. Still a teenager, remember. That's a problem for Patrick Vieira, isn't it? That's maybe the weakness in his game. He does think he can reach balls with those long legs that are beyond him, and regularly gets yellow cards for missed-time tackles. He's had 2 in the last 2 games, and from a free kick that he conceded rather needlessly in Lens. Also then conceded a corner from which Lens got that important goal back from their point of view. No goal for Manchester United here.
Well, they don't put a wall up here, and Beckham's just saying to Roy Keane, go on, just touch it. And he's just trying to take a couple of touches and get it that just a couple of yards nearer David Seaman so he can really test the goalkeeper.
Well, the tackles have been pretty well timed today. And of course, it's the attempted tackle on him that will be one of the main post-match talking points. Led to Graham Barber reducing Manchester United to 10 men. Parlour, Anelka.
I don't think he'd have caught it. I think that's fair to say. Such was the pace on the ball that even if Dennis Bergkamp had gone after that.
Bergkamp, I think, was surprised that the ball came his way. There were a couple of others supporting easier passes to the left. Hitting it. Good chasing back by York. Beckham losing out. And Seaman kicking it straight to Keane. Apparently a big exercise in concentration this for Arsenal. Blomqvist. Irwin. Cross towards Beckham. Nicked away from him by Winterburn. Good retrieving by Beckham. Adams only as far as Keane. Challenged by Anelka. Bergkamp. Now the break could be on. But Anelka's starting position was deep because he'd been back helping out in midfield. Blomqvist. Quarter of the game left. Swede starting to show more belief in his play. Keane. Ljungberg. Very neat play by Gary Neville. Cross didn't quite come to what the change of direction deserved. Monday night football from Ewood Park. Blackburn and Chelsea starting, we hope, one of them to dig themselves out of a difficult beginning to the season. And on Thursday we go to Old Trafford. That's this coming Thursday. A fixture brought forward to help Manchester United and Liverpool in their European campaign. And of course, I'm sure you're very well aware that what comes up straight after this, it's Rangers and Celtic today. Giggs. Overmars back on the scene. Bergkamp. 5 forward for Arsenal here. Ray Parlour is one of those. That's a corner.
That was good defending. They had an option stand. He could have stayed with Bergkamp. He makes a really, really good decision as a defender here to go with the pass. He can see the runner coming. He knows that. He can see Parlour. And he just opts for the right one. Good defending.
Hughes with the corner. Keane in control. despite the ooze from the crowd. Now Beckham. Stab. Suits Arsenal here just to keep their shape. They've got everyone behind the ball. Be vigilant at the back, knowing that they've still got the potential for more penetrating play when they do get the ball. Parlour. Bergkamp. Anelka. He's leaving it for Parlour. Moving the ball around and making the extra man count. And Overmars will catch it. Twisting past Berg. And well, Dennis Irwin would have been stranded if that had been any higher. And that's the position he had to take up. All the other defenders have been dragged across.
Great turn against Gary Neville. Neville going on the outside, thinking he was going to turn that way. Overmars just turned inside him. Goes away.
Parlour. Now Dixon. And Giggs. Arsenal just a little bit lax, and Ryan Giggs trying to take advantage of that and whip it in behind Adams to where he hoped York could connect.
That was almost a good ball. You see what he was trying to do. But that's what Arsenal mustn't do. Arsene Wenger will be that's a little warning. They got a little bit sloppy, a little bit casual, and Giggs is just taking the ball off him and just gone and committed. Martin Keown, he's looking for Dwight York. It's a little bit too far ahead of him.
Vieira. Hughes. Only Anelka ahead of Bergkamp for Arsenal. And now Bergkamp himself the furthest man forward. Remember, a Manchester United win today would put them 3 points behind Aston Villa with a game in hand. Looking as though it's going to happen for Alex Ferguson and company. But Arsene Wenger and his team, they will have studied the league table and the potential for all the possible results today. Determined to put on a show here to stop Manchester United moving into that threatening position, of course leaving Arsenal well behind, even in these early weeks.
I think that was a point Ken that Leach made with him beforehand, that if United won today and went 4 ahead with a game in hand, that's a possibility of Arsenal 7 points adrift this early.
And Arsenal still having to go to Old Trafford later in the season. Anelka. Owen. Keane. Who's never shy of coming in to midfield to try and win it. And Arsenal have 4 up, the number 4. Patrick Vieira.
You know, sometimes when you have too much time on the ball and too many options, it was his hardest time in the pitch. Sounds crazy, but that's exactly what he had. He was under no pressure. He could have gone on, travelled himself and hit it.
Beckham. Presented though to Parlour, and Arsenal stretch forward again. Overmars. Bergkamp, he's got Dixon inside him. And really Lee Dixon had to hit it first time.
Just a little bit too much pace on it, I think. He felt he had to control it first.
He sits out Saturday's trip to Sheffield Wednesday as a result of his now biannual spat with Graham Lasso. Arsenal's next home game, of course, is at Wembley. Champions League. Unfair turn by Parler, says referee Barber.
It's amazing how a linesman who's 2 yards away can't give that. The referee who's on the other side 30 yards away can.
Key, a bit of space to move into. And Gary Neville recognising the chance to do just the same. It's a tangle off the ball between Keown and York. Dwight York on the ground and needs to get back on his feet quickly. Maybe he was hurt by the fall. Beckham, still not quite right. Shirt pulling there by Stand, and again the assistant could have helped the referee really. Roy Keane, he get a free kick.
Well, this is a bit closer, Mark. This is a kind of area now where I think Beckham's eyes might light up. He's just that 4 or 5 yards nearer.
It'll be Arsenal's turn to complain because there was some shirt pulling that went unpunished. And the game went on. Keane went down. And the 3 in the Arsenal wall. Well, the best part of 15 minutes still to go. And here goes Beckham. And Seaman started to dart away one side and then was pleased to see the ball come straight down the centre where he could just readjust to hang on.
Well, he wouldn't have wanted to face 4 David Beckham free kicks from that sort of range. But to be fair, all he's had to do really is concentrate, David, today with those. Position has been good, and therefore all the saves have been comfortable.
The England and Arsenal goalkeeper enjoying the challenge. Man of the match, that's your challenge. 0660 11 22 33. Give us a call. Well, maybe now the situation such that Fredrik Ljungberg could be given his debut for Arsenal. Impressed Andy, I know, when we saw him play for Sweden in Stockholm recently against England.
I think he impressed more than me, Mark. There was a host of clubs clamouring after him after that game.
Yes, but you can tell your admirers his strengths now. When we get the appropriate moment, of course. Over Mars. Giving Giggs a bit of a taste of his own medicine, and Ryan Giggs reacting by tugging at Mark Overmars. Free kick in a Beckham-esque situation, but for Arsenal. Still the 2 first-half goals from Tony Adams and Nicholas Anelka. Adams just loitering forward alongside the wall. Bergkamp, yes, Adams to play a part. Oh, to try and head it forward for himself to reach. He was pulling back. Well, the Arsenal fans can welcome the latest signing. It's Nicholas Anelka who goes off to be replaced by Fredrik Ljungberg. 21 years old, £3 million from Halmstad. Regarded when England played in Sweden as the most promising Swedish-based player. He's English-based now, and he says he hopes to be here at Highbury for a long time.
Well, if he plays like he did against England, he probably will be. He's got good ability, the boy, good talent.
And he's got Ian Wright's old number. Yeah. So he must be confident as well. 1 or 2 might have fought shy of that He's not, of course, the same type of player. He's not an out-and-out striker. He can play wide. He comes from midfield in any attacking sense, but I wouldn't expect him to play as the furthest man forward, which at the moment for Arsenal is Mark Overmars. But the flag has gone up.
I just wonder if that substitution as well, Mark, was a bit of psychology from Arsene Wenger. He knows that Nicholas Anelka's had a little bit of stick, questions asked, and he scored the second goal, and he's thinking, well, I want to get Ljungberg on, but let's take Anelka off, so we'll get a good round of applause for all the Arsenal fans, make them feel good.
You said that about Paul Gascoigne last Sunday, didn't you? And I checked, and they said Gazza was very tired. But he enjoyed the ovation. He did get a tremendous ovation from friend and foe alike as well, and that was quite a highlight. I must say our Sunday matches have been very eventful so far this season. Another big story to tell today. The 2 goals, the major incidents of the first half here, the sending off of Nicky Butt, a key moment in the second half. Ljungberg, eager to impress. He's working back as Owen just held his ground and jockeyed. Adams imperiously striding forward and testing out Ljungberg's pace.
He obviously hasn't got the vision of Steve Bold, who chipped him in against Everton here. Remember for that great finale to their season.
Really worth a mention, Steve Bold, incidentally, because 1 or 2 clubs are short of proven centre-back, shall we say. And Arsenal are very lucky. They've got 3 of them.
Are you suggesting they should be queuing up to buy that boy?
Arsenal gave him a new contract for this season. Coming up later from Ibrox, the scene set there for the old firm. And the scene set here at Highbury, it seems, for a very important home win.
It is a pity that the sending off happened in the game, Martin. I thought we were really set for something special second half. United, I thought, would have really tried to have tested Arsenal. It is a pity that happened. It's more or less killed the game as a contest. Arsenal haven't overcommitted at all. They've been fairly cautious, and quite rightly so, in their approach second half.
Not so cautious here, though, with Vieira. Wanted to just trick his way through between the 2 centre-backs. Giggs has got Arsenal's 2 centre-backs in a little bit of difficulty. Blomqvist. Irwin ran it against Dixon in the end.
Well, that's been the case, an awful lot of that. They've won a lot of second balls because they've worked hard, Arsenal, but they've also had little balls like that drop for them in important areas.
Remember Manchester United, either side of the summer break, 11 league games unbeaten since Mark Overmars sent them to defeat. So crucially, on that Premiership campaign, mid-March at Old Trafford. Beckham. Footwear problem for Nigel Winterburn. Overmars. And he knows where Parlour is. He had a look to see where Bergkamp was trying to get. Overmars again. Hughes. Oh, it's a bit lucky. He didn't aim for Ljungberg, but he's found him. And what a way to start your Arsenal career. Frederick Ljungberg, 3-0.
Well, something else I forgot to tell you about, and we can finish as well. Oh, my first reaction, is he offside? But as the ball's played through, there comes the pass. I think he might just be marginally off, but again, it would be marginally. The flag didn't go up. Another one of those little decisions that's gone Arsenal's way.
There's a miss-hit by Hughes.
Oh,
he was
total
trying to drop it into a different area.
Total miss.
Ljungberg kept going.
Lovely.
And you know, he scored 1 international goal for Sweden, and guess who it was past? Peter Schmeichel. He scored 1 Premiership goal. And it's delighted Arsene Wenger, who will feel very proud about his substitution. And the third goal, 3 points for Arsenal. That surely can't change in the final 5 minutes.
Well, I think Alex Ferguson puts it down to one of those days, Martin. They'll think that little decisions haven't gone their way. I would agree one big decision, in my opinion, didn't go their way, an important one regarding Nicky Butt, and little things have gone against them.
Well, the important verdict for you, the viewers, the man of the match, 066011 22 333. 3 is very much the number for Arsenal fans. 3-0 in the Charity Shield. 3-0 today, 3-2 past Manchester United in this fixture last season.
And now the first side to beat them 3 times in a row in the Premier League.
Well, you've wrapped it up as well as Arsenal have done. Ljungberg may not be settling for 3. Well, that number 8 shirt must count for something, eh?
Well, it hasn't lost its touch, has it? Super cool finish, you have to give him that. He must have been a bit nervous coming on. Don't care where he's played for his country. Still a big moment when you come into a game like this against a side like Manchester United.
Key. Ljungberg now tastes the other side of playing in the Premiership. Glenn Hoddle has seen enough. He obviously feels he knows where the points are going to go, and I'm sure he's not alone in that. But a yellow card for Ljungberg. Overstam, and coming in behind him was Blomqvist.
Well, I do say make your debut a memorable one. And Ljungberg, having scored, then booked. Ain't done a bad job of that. Now, this is how we do it at Arsenal, son. Nigel Winterburn. Never mind all that. This is what happens, even when you're 3-0 up. OK, on you go.
Yes, a man in his 12th season with the club. Quite entitled to lay down the law to a man who hasn't yet played 12 minutes for them. Hughes involved again, if somewhat fortunately, and he's had a rasper, of course, late on at Leicester last weekend. But you could just see him when he knocked that ball into space. He hung his head momentarily as if to say, curses. And then Ljungberg turned the miss-hit pass into a great pass. Here was the shot. So what spin are you going to put on this, Andy, in terms of what it might mean to the months ahead?
Well, I don't think it'll mean an awful lot at the end. It's a bad day for Manchester United, there's no doubt about that. I think it was a bigger day for Arsenal when we talked about if United won it and the little gap that would appear. So I think it's been a massive result for Arsenal. But I do believe it's a kind of performance as Manchester United's manager that he'll put to bed, much like, well, I remember you and I sat and watched Newcastle United beat them early in the season once 5-0 at St James's, and everyone thought that was the end of it. And United went on and claimed the title. So it's a long way to go. It's a big result for Arsenal. But certainly, if you're asking me to write off Manchester United this early, no chance.
Not trying to put those words into your mouth by any means. Mike Ferguson and Brian Kidd have had better days. Many better days. Vieira has been really the fulcrum of so much that's been good for Arsene Wenger's team. Could have played the advantage in the end. I think Graham Barber, wary of anything else that might follow, decided to stop the play. There are some strong-minded individuals in that midfield. Might be an understatement on that.
That is an understatement. I think he wants a word with Vieira and Keane. There was one or two verbals more than anything. This is not about the challenge. This is about what went on after it. Vieira wasn't happy. They're two fiercely committed players, I tell you. Two lads you're looking at there, Keane and Vieira. You'd want them in your side rather than against you. There isn't a doubt about that.
Roy Keane has been booked for protesting about the Nicky Butt sending off. Anyway, the outcome is a free kick to Arsenal. Header from Gary Neville. 2 minutes, says the board on the far side. Ljungberg. 3-0 to the champions is the song. Could be 3-1 here. Big shot blocked. Arsenal now have a chance to make it 4-0. Overmars, it's all about the timing of the pass here. Bergkamp might nick it back. Overmars has another opportunity. Vieira still lurking on the right-hand side. Overmars comes off the goalkeeper, and Henning got there before Bergkamp.
Good save, good strike, good save. Ball just dipping before Peter Schmeichel made it difficult. Again, too many options to start with, but at the end he decides to go on his own. That was a pretty good save. This time Henning was helping his goalkeeper out.
Dixon. Vieira. Ljungberg.
I think we've seen now, Martin, apart from maybe up front, where Arsene Wenger is certainly looking to strengthen it. They've got a pretty good squad here. When you look at Steve Bald's cover at centre-back and Upson even there, they've got good cover at full-back. Stephen Hughes has stepped in Emmanuel Petit's place today, and well, the biggest compliment I can pay Hughes is he's hardly been missed.
Arsenal continue to show a superiority over Manchester United. Arsene Wenger delighted about that. Tony Adams got them off on the right foot, and you sense that Arsenal recognise not just the value of 3 points here, but some psychological momentum for the months ahead as well. A third league win in a row over their great rivals. No club has done that to United since the start of the Premiership, and a fourth consecutive victory for the Gunners in matches between the clubs, and that's never happened before. This is the story of it for you. That swift start from Arsenal, rewarded with the early goal from Tony Adams in the 14th minute. And then, as Manchester United were feeling that they were coming back into the game, Mark Overmars clipping it through, and Nicolas Anelka needing a goal for his own personal morale and getting it at the second attempt just before half-time. Any hopes that Manchester United realistically had of turning it round in the second half were knocked aside when Graham Barber decided that Patrick Vieira was in a goal-scoring opportunity and that Nicky Butt was the last man then. It was not a view shared by too many. Off went Butt. On came Ljungberg later on for Arsenal to mark his debut. Arsene Wenger's latest signing with the goal that made it 3-0. And Andy, a final thought? Very good for Arsenal. A
pretty good performance all round for Arsenal. A very good day for them. At 2-0 up, I think it would have been a test. The sending off did just confirm that they were going to run out winners. For Manchester United, it's one to put to bed and get on with it next week.
Well, the Arsenal fans staying to watch the action on the scoreboards here. Manchester United's first league defeat since March, and Mark Overmars. It's happened against Arsenal again, and today by 3-0.
And I should think after that, the post-match debate is going to be every bit as lively, so plenty still to come from Highbury yet. Also the thoughts, of course, of Kenny Dalglish. And there's a lot of live sport to come tonight across 3 Sky Sports channels. Here at 6:30, it's the Super League from Central Park. The Wigan Warriors take on the Bradford Bulls. And at 9, NFL, the Seattle Seahawks play the Washington Redskins. It's live golf from the US Tour over on Sky Sports 2 from 7. And on 3 next, our huge day of football continues as Rangers take on Celtic. That's on 3. Well, they're enjoying once again the best moments on the big screens here at Highbury, watching Arsenal beat Manchester United 3-0. Again, 4 straight wins on the bounce, and United haven't scored against them in the last 3. 0660 11 22 33 is our number for man of the match. Still plenty of time to vote, so keep the calls coming. 0660 11 22 33. 3-0. Manchester United have been beaten at Highbury this afternoon. Thoughts of Kenny Dalglish coming next, and the big match reaction. Extraordinary, isn't it, how quickly the stadium's empty, but Highbury is all ready, but plenty to talk about. Vast majority today, of course, Gunners fans, and they've seen the champions win by 3 goals to 0. Look at that, 19 attempts on target with 10. Not enough from Manchester United, and they haven't found a way through against Arsenal in the last 3 games now, so that's the next poser. Nicky Butt sent off today. First half, well, plenty of football in that mid-third that we can see there, but Arsenal had bossed it for the most part. They had the possession at half-time. They have across the 95 minutes. Really, with Butt off, it was a backs-to-the-wall exercise for Manchester United. Man of the match. 5 for the Gunners skipper, 14 for one of the goal scorers, the other goal scorer Anelka, 59% for Vieira, and 22% spread around amongst the others. So well done. Patrick Vieira wins the Carling Man of the Match. So the FA Carling Premiership, it's all activity in the top half as a result of that. And tomorrow night, remember, on the Monday Night Football, it's Blackburn against Chelsea. Blackburn in the drop zone right now with Coventry and Southampton. So let's have a look at the top. It's Arsenal up 5 places on the back of that win. Manchester United down 2 into 10th. Arsenal there 5th now, 4 points off the top place, which at the moment is held by Aston Villa, of course. Right, here's Arsene Wenger with George Gavin.
Arsene, well played. 4 times in a row you've beaten Manchester United. Does that confirm your dominance of them?
It's every game is different, but maybe psychologically we know that you can beat them, and that was very important before the game. What was important for us is that we had a good found our game back in Lens, and I think we had some doubts in our mind, and the game of Lens did us a lot of good, and as well that physically we started very well the game and could get on the top of Man United from the start on.
You said before the game that this match could shape the course of your season. Is that what it will do?
Yes, because if we lost today at home against Man United, we didn't win for 5 games. Of course, it would have been a big blow. But to win it again puts us up close to the top contenders, and of course psychologically is important. But it's only 1 game, and it's a long way to go.
Do you think the sending off influenced the course of the game? You were 2 goals up at the time.
Yes, it influenced, definitely, I would say, because it killed a little bit the game. We were 2-0 up, but of course always under the threat of a team like Man United. They come back to 2-1. You are really insecure again.
Was it a harsh sending off?
It was one of the difficult decisions you have to make. It could give a yellow card, I wouldn't have contested it. It could give a red card. It's very difficult to say if it's 100% situation or not, but Patrick Vieira was in front, and the referee has to make a quick decision. So I think it was a very difficult decision. What is, of course, it killed a little bit the game, the possibility for Man United to come back.
Thanks very much, Arsene.
Thank you.
Here's Alex Ferguson waiting to talk to us with George Gavin again.
Alex, many issues there that perhaps cloud the issue, but would you concede that Arsenal were worthy of the 3 points on the day?
No. What the heck? That's a question I have. I just think the basic principle of playing a game of football denied us a chance to get in something from the game. I thought they were far more determined, first to every ball, right from the outset, and quite frankly I was terribly disappointed in their players.
You were 2 goals down when the sending off came. Did that influence the game?
No, I think that we possibly we can come back from 2 goals down. We've done it in the past, but I just think that they were very more determined than us. And when you're determined as that, then you just have to have their victory, and Arsenal was certainly the better team.
The referee has said if you want to complain about it, he would look at it again. He said it was a tackle from behind and through on goal. In fact, you can see it now, Alex. Any complaints at all?
Well, it's not a tackle for the back, that's for sure. And Yap's terms there. Back, I mean, they talk about professional referees and full-time referees, but who can improve that performance, you know? But, I mean, we were outplayed most of the game, so I have no complaints.
Yeah, I mean, you're very honest about this, aren't you, really?
I mean, you know when you're beaten. There's no question about that. I was disappointed in our players.
What can you do about it, Alex? I mean, obviously, without working harder, what can you do?
Well, I mean, I'm going to say that's what management is. It's a great thing about management. You have great ups and great downs. We had a fantastic game in Wednesday against Barcelona, the best football, probably all the European ties on Wednesday night. So we're part of that, and we shared that sort of experience. Today we share a different experience, and Thursday we play Liverpool, and hopefully we share a different experience again.
Without labouring the point, was it through the team that you saw the faults, or was it defensively?
No, I think it was just that we lacked determination. We lacked the determination that Arsenal had, and thereby that deserved the victory.
Thanks very much, Alex.